Republican Kevin Kiley is the new representative for California's 3rd Congressional District and one of the nearly 80 new House members of the 118th Congress. He told C-SPAN about his candidacy in California's 2021 gubernatorial recall election, his views on the role of government, and his previous work in the state legislature.
Well, I've spent the last 6 years as a member of the California State Assembly trying to bring some sanity to the beautiful state of California. Previously I worked as a criminal prosecutor. I was an attorney in private practice, fighting for small businesses and defending the Constitution in our courts. And I actually began my career as a high school teacher, teaching 10th grade English in inner city LA.
Why a teacher?
Well, after college, I was looking for a way to really have an impact in a very immediate way. And my mom was a teacher, I've always been drawn to education. And so I was able to begin teaching right away through a program called Teach for America, which places recent college graduates in underserved communities. I received a teaching credential as I began the process of being a 10th grade teacher. I taught at a school called Manual Arts, it was a school where there were a lot of challenges in terms of the reading level that students were at, for example, was on average 5th grade by the time they entered my 10th grade class. And so that experience really opened my eyes in a lot of ways to the challenges we face in public education, in assuring educational equity, educational opportunity, in trying to overcome the achievement gaps that are as wide as our state as just about anywhere in the country. And so that experience very much informed my role as vice chair of the Education Committee in our state assembly, and we'll do the same here as I'm now going to be a member of the Education and Workforce Committee in Congress.
What did you learn about yourself being a teacher?
Well, I learned how to be patient. I taught 10th graders where there isn't really any limit on class size, so I would teach a class with about 40 students sometimes. I was in a portable, fairly small room. It's 10th graders, so that age, kids can present some interesting scenarios that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. I really learned how to be patient, and I think that has served me well as I've entered the world of politics as well.
Why are you a conservative?
Well, I tend to believe that decisions are made closest to the folks that they affect. And really the lifeblood of our communities are families and small businesses and service organizations, faith organizations. These are the things that make a community tick. And so I tend to believe that the role of government should be one that aims in as much as possible to allow the decisions that drive community life to take place within those institutions. And to the extent the government needs to be involved, it should be at the level that's closest to the folks that it affects. And so the school board level, the level of the city council, the board of supervisors, and the state government should really just be dealing with issues of state concern, and the federal government should really be dealing with issues of federal concern. And I think that's important for a lot of reasons. And perhaps most of all, it's really what this country was about from the beginning, is self-government, giving each individual citizen a hand in our shared political destiny. And the way to do that is not by centralizing political power in far-off Capitol buildings. It's by allowing for decisions to be made in a way that is accessible to the folks who are affected.
Do you have a political mentor or someone you want to model yourself after?
Well, I'd say there's quite a few, depending on which way you look at it. Abraham Lincoln is always a safe answer, right? But I think that, also just a number of our founders, whether, that's Jefferson, Hamilton, Madison, and the sort of idea of self-government that was really the great American innovation that they not only, sort of installed in this country via the Constitution and explicated in their various writings, but then instantiated as statesmen in the early days of the Republic. That's sort of the, I think, guiding star of my political philosophy. I think in many ways that idea of self-government is one that we have drifted from as a country over the years and decades and centuries, but I think it's one that we do well to return to as much as possible in this century.
Is there someone or something you were looking forward to doing here in Washington?
Well, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to doing here in Washington.
Or someone you were looking forward to meet?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a number of members of Congress that I admire and that I've enjoyed getting to know. But, really, I'm here to do a job. And that's to help our country get back on track. At the time I was elected, which is just a couple months ago, we were seeing record levels of dissatisfaction on the part of the public with the direction of this country. When it comes to the economy, when it comes to the border, when it comes to crime, when it comes to the accountability of our government, when it comes to our education system. And so I'm really here to fight for change, to get us back on track. I'm interested in meeting and working with anyone on both sides of the aisle who I can find common ground with to make that happen.
In 2021, you were a candidate for governor during the California recall election. Tell us why.
Well, in 2021, we had this extraordinary movement of citizens throughout California that had come together to produce the single largest petition drive ever in United States history, where we had just been in the midst of the most severe lockdowns of any state in the country. California had the most extreme business closures, had the most extreme school closures, had the most extreme church closures. So even if you look at New York or some of these other states, this wasn't just a debate about whether lockdowns are right or wrong. This was about why is California the very worst, the very most extreme in every single respect. And citizens had been denied sort of their ability to actually take part in government at all, as we had what many considered to be a centralization of authority in the hands of the governor. And so the recall became an instrument to sort of fight back and to reassert the agency of citizens in our democracy. And at the end of the day, it also became a moment to sort of reflect upon the direction of California as a state, where this used to be the state where anyone could get ahead. Everyone wanted to move there. Now it's the state that so many can't wait to leave behind. It's the most popular state in the country to leave because of soaring costs of living, the highest poverty in the country, huge amounts of inequality, a failing public education system, by far the worst homelessness in the country, soaring crime rates. And so I do think it became sort of a referendum on the fundamental failures of California government. For a variety of reasons, the recall did not ultimately succeed in its immediate objective, but I think it did succeed in bringing a lot of public awareness to those issues and getting citizens more involved in government. And I think that movement has only continued to grow to this day.